Hello. Happy Saturday. I think it's Saturday. It's probably Saturday for most of us. Damn. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I always like to know about my demographic. Let me know if you guys can like hear me, see me okay. All that good stuff. Are you non-binary? No. Well, no. No. I identify as a woman, but I do use they, them pronouns. Why do you get so much hate for being honest? Honestly, I think people are just a little bit confused. I think women are confused. Guys are like, who the fuck is this bitch? It's just, it just comes with it. I honestly can genuinely say that I don't really let the hate get to me anymore. That's nice to say. This was in here for 2 minutes. Why is it cold? Everything's cold. Okay, hold on. I gotta put my dinner back in. 1 sec. Please ignore my messy house if you can see it. What do you do for a living? I do this for a living, actually. Hello, hello. That corn looks gas. Yeah, it's awesome. It's the last time you said no dick. Today. Made you become a men's rights activist? I get asked that so much, and it's so hard. I'm gonna do like a segment, like no dick, but like reasons why I advocate for men. It's just such a hard question, right? It's like asking somebody, why do you get upset if you see, somebody like hitting a woman? And it's like, well, 'cause it's wrong and it upsets me. Like, I think sometimes people just like get upset about shit and they're like, yo, someone needs to talk about this. Do you still do OnlyFans? I have never had an OnlyFans. I don't know how many times I have to fucking say it. Excuse me, Roxy. I'll feed you after. Nice hair, bro. Thanks. It's in a really weird stage right now. I don't really care, though. I don't really care about my looks too much, in case you guys haven't noticed. Do you moan or groan? I thrown you the fuck out of this chat. Bye. Jesus. It's not a burrito. Do you think that if a guy got hit by a woman, he should defend himself and hit her back? It really depends. Like, honestly, I think that you have to look at like the eyes of the court, like what is classified as self-defense, and really what's classified as self-defense is that like you feel like you or your friends' lives are in danger. And so it's like, even myself as a woman, if a dude were to fucking hit me and I were to go fucking ham on him, fucking put him in a coma, I could be in jail. It's no longer called self-defense because you're not doing what the average person would do, and that's all what self-defense is about. So at the end of the day, I think we really need to separate the whole like man versus woman thing. The only thing we should acknowledge is like, are you much bigger than that person? Are you much stronger? This isn't men are stronger than women, because I've definitely seen women much stronger than the certain men that they're in the room with. It's about like, are you truly defending yourself or are you retaliating? Because I think a lot of people confuse that, and I think at the end of the day, I have seen men get slapped in the face by a woman and he takes her by the throat and fucking throws her across the room. That's not necessary. You could have separated yourself. You could have separated yourself and called the police. And it's tough because it's such a fine line, right? Because you don't want to sound like you're victim blaming or anything like that. But at the end of the day, like, it's all about like reasonable defense. If somebody hits you once and you have the opportunity to get out of that situation, get out of that situation and do what you got to do. But if somebody like slaps you in the face, and you like fucking punch her in the face and breaks her jaw, that's really unreasonable. And you'd probably get in trouble for that. And I've seen a lot of guys take just like excessive force and be like, well, it was self-defense. And the father of my kid tried to say that he hit me in self-defense because there was like bear spray. It's a really long story. I explained it. But anyways, it's not self-defense when somebody is running away from you and you are like bashing their head in with a baton. Anyways, that's some personal shit. But, I have seen situations where there are girls just fucking wailing and wailing and wailing on the dude, and the guy finally has enough and like fucking shoves her. Most men defend themselves by like shoving. Rarely in a situation where you're defending yourself are you going to need to like throw some shots unless that person is bigger than you. And there are women that are bigger than some men. So it really is all an individual situation. And I hope that that answers the question. When do I get more hoodies? I'll talk to my agent about that. You really don't need to hit anybody. I've been hit by men and be able to like get out of the situation. I haven't felt the need to square up with them. I squared up with a lot of dudes when I was a teenager, but it was consensual. Do you like cheese? Yes. Was everyone talking about invading Canada? How's the baby doing today? The baby's doing good. Why are more people that lie in the court not being charged with perjury? I'm not really sure, and honestly, I want to do more research into like really what the statistics are. What do you think about the 97%? I would agree that like probably 97% of women at one point or another have experienced sexual harassment. Just like I would say that 97% of men have experienced sexism. Because we have to understand that like sexual harassment towards women is a form of misogyny, it's sexism. Sexual harassment towards men is a form of misandry, it's sexism. It doesn't matter. A lot of these issues are like, if we separate the gender about it, whole man versus women, it starts to make a whole lot of sense, because like almost every single man in this chat has probably either been sexually assaulted, hit, abused, threatened, had your life threatened at one point or another. Probably every single man in this chat has experienced at least one form of that, if not all of them. And so it's like, if we were to do a poll, yeah, the thing that it did, the whole survey or whatever, it wasn't good. It wasn't built properly. But at the end of the day, people decided to focus on that rather than the bigger issue, which was like all of those women had experienced that, which means that there's a broader picture. I think that's what we need to focus on, because I do lots of polls about men being abused here in this community, sexually abused, molested, and like the responses that you guys have all been through it. So if women saw, and women have seen those polls and be like, oh, this is just a small percentage, or these men are probably, not every single one of them are truthful, like that would be so hurtful to you guys, because you're like, yo, we experienced this and we're telling you this. It may not be a perfect scientific survey that Chloe did, but she did her own survey on YouTube, and it shows that there are a lot of men that have dealt with this. So like maybe we should start to think that like we need to start opening our eyes to what women are dealing with as well. And I'm going to start a segment called, because just like I have one reasons why men are have it hard in society, I'm going to do one with women as well, because there are a lot. We acknowledge that in this community. What's his reaction after finding out that you're pregnant? The father of my kid? Him and I are both like pretty nervous. We both feel the same. We're both like nervous and excited, right? Yeah, we both feel the same, just nervous and excited. Thank you, Nico. You're really sweet. I just want you guys to know, if you guys want to send me coins, you totally can. But I just want you to know, you do not have to send me coins in order to get me to acknowledge you. I usually do my best to read the comments. Usually when I'm on a rant about something, I don't, because then like I have ADHD and lose my trail of thought, and then people accuse me of being on drugs. So I've just become self-conscious and learned how to work around it. She's exploiting men for money. I really just think it's funny that like people think that a Patreon, which is something that my fans asked me to start, is like exploiting men for money, because I think my version of like exploiting men for money is like viewing them as like that's all that they're for, treating them like shit when they give it to you, like really just treating them like a wallet. And if people think that that's what my Patreon is, like I'm so sorry, but you are so confused. I know almost all of my Patreons by first name. I know what they do for a living. I know about their fucking pets. I talk to them every single day. It is a symbiotic, cohesive relationship between all of my Patreons on my top tier, because that would be absolutely impossible if it was on all the tiers. There's nothing like using about it. If people are consensually saying here and I'm saying fucking thank you, like you don't know what you're talking about. Do you get grief for your OnlyFans? I don't have an OnlyFans. Oh my God. I don't have one. Guys, for the love of Jesus, please. I don't have an OnlyFans. I know that there was an article that was released. I've contacted them, tried to get them to change it. What that person, it's literally a girl out of Texas. I can't, it's like something baby or whatever. And she uses my photo to try to get people to subscribe to her OnlyFans. And then they're terribly disappointed because it's not me. They come to me and expect me to give them their fucking money back because they were trying to subscribe to nudes that are not fucking mine, like non-existent. And so like, I don't have an OnlyFans. I have a Patreon, which I used to do private content on, but it's not as simple as you sign up for my Patreon and there's boobs and butthole on my page. It has never been like that, never worked like that. It is so fucking complicated, it's hard work. Please, I'm not trying to get mad at it. It's just like, yo, I don't have an OnlyFans. I just don't. And I don't do private content anymore either. What if I get forced to kiss someone? Is that sexual assault? Absolutely. What is the Patreon for? I use Patreon to connect with my fans. I use it to share like Patreon only content with them, like memes, and like there's like hundreds of unreleased comedy skits and shit like that I've only have on Patreon. Early access to a lot of my videos, vlogs. Can talk to me every day. You can game with me. Hello? Jesus? Just kidding. Well, I can see both my pets, so... Oh, fuck. Oh, get out of here! Fucking cat jumps at my ankles as I walk by. It was my fucking cat. Jesus! Somebody asked why I don't support men going their own way. It's very simple. I think you can understand somebody without supporting it. I know that if I went to a therapist and said, there is so much negativity and toxic people in this world, so much toxic men, that I'm completely denouncing relationships, marriage, the things that I once wanted because I'm so afraid of getting hurt, a therapist would not recommend that I do that. They would say, listen, you've got some shit that you've got to work through. I understand why you're feeling this way. It's totally reasonable that you're having these like, oh my God, about society, because society's shit. But at the end of the day, I will never support somebody isolating themselves and them living an unhappy life just because the rest of the world is shit. Like here in this community, I believe in trying to change the world and not letting it change us, because like we're better than that. And enough is enough. You know, the male suicide rate is already so fucking high that like how could I sit here and support men isolating themselves more? No, I would rather sit here and say, this is how to identify the women that are just here to like fuck with you. And here's the ones that are like great. And it's not because I'm sitting on some pretentious high ground like, oh, I'm one of these good people and these women are like me, so you should like them. It's just about like, men are always taught that they are the red flags. They're never taught about red flags. And in fact, like this stuff is so normalized in society that men think it's perfectly fucking normal for like dating, taking a woman on a first date, for it to become this big political thing, this big competition, this big test for him. It's not normal, right? And so it's like, I'd rather say, here's the good ones, here's the shitty ones. I'm not perfect either. If you'd like to ask me how I'm toxic or what my toxic traits are, I would love to be open about it because I'm not perfect and I don't pretend to be. Nobody's ever asked me. But that's why I don't support men going their own way, because it's like, yo, the suicide rate is already so high. How? Hope your baby doesn't survive. Well, that's very rude. You think shit like that's gonna bother me? People are so weird. It really could. Something like that really could bother somebody, though. And as somebody who actually has had a loss in pregnancy, that's actually really not cool. But I've got thick skin. I'm used to this shit, so it's okay. But honestly, it's kind of rude. Where I give you your Patreon. My Patreon is patreon.com/RomaArmy. I also have it linked in the description for a lot of my videos and my link tree and stuff. Are you team boy or girl? Neither. So your gamer tag on Apex, Roma Army. But yeah, so that's why I don't support men going their own way. Just stop by. Congrats on your baby. Thank you. What are you hoping for? I mean, it does not matter to me, and I'm actually not finding out the gender. Are you polyamorous? Oh, don't comment. How did your channel start? I just started making videos and I started uploading YouTube videos, and it wasn't until after my suicide attempt that I realized that my YouTube was sitting at like 300,000, and I was like, oh my God, people actually watch me. I just uploaded videos there. I never paid attention to it. So, and then I was like, oh cool. My agent was like, you didn't know this? And I was like, no. So yeah, it was kind of just like a happy accident. And I was like, well, people obviously want this, so like, I'm here to serve you. What are your views on trans men and women using men and women's bathrooms? Who cares? Why are we politicizing such personal fucking things? Who cares? Who cares? When you're in the bathroom shitting, are you really worried about who's in there with you, or are you doing your business? Have you ever like really stopped and been like, are you sure you're a dude? No! You're in there to do your business, and so are they. Who cares? So political. What is your diet? I don't know. What are the 2 toxic traits you believe you need to work on inside your relationship with your partner? Well, my partner is polyamorous, and I've decided that I'm monogamous. So we're actually not in like a romantic relationship, but I'm so sick of fucking labels, and like, I'm not a baby mama, he's not a baby daddy. We still see each other every few days. Like, nothing's changed about our relationship except for like the label. So like, he's really just like my partner. Like, we're not really like in a like relationship, but like, he's my partner. I don't know. It's complicated. But it's just, yeah, I just, I want monogamy. He wants polyamory, and that's perfectly okay. Can't be mad at that. But the 2 toxic traits that I've had is in that relationship is trying to control him being like monogamous. And I went through, like, I grieved that. I grieved the loss of monogamy in my relationship because it started monogamous. There was a time where like I was drinking a little bit too much. I was not so nice to him when I was drinking. Like, I would text him and just like make him feel so guilty for things that he never like did wrong. And so my toxic trait has just been learning how to not be possessive, but also learning how to like forgive when people didn't mean to hurt you. So I hope that makes sense. Is marriage worth it? I don't know. It can be. I will never get married just because I don't support a system that traps and abuses men often. I don't really see marriage as this big oppressive thing to women. I mean, the fucking wedding day is all about hair. Give me a fucking break. But yeah. Do you support child support? Honestly, yes, I do. And I had that one channel be like, she's fake, along with all my other traumas, because I support child support. But at the end of the day, I am connected enough to the men's rights community and the fathers community to know that no fathers are out here bitching and moaning about the fact that they have to support the children that they love just because they're not banging the mom anymore. They're upset that they're charged so much child support that they can't live and it's not regulated. So yes, I support child support. I don't support unregulated child support that is forcing men into poverty. You need to forgive the father of your kid. The one I'm holding? Absolutely. It's not his fault that he wants to be monogamous, honestly. When polyamorous, I mean, he became just so happy and just so connected to himself. And as much as it hurts me still sometimes, because it's like, you know, there's the future that I viewed. He's not a bad person, and everything he did, he got everybody's consent. And I tried polyamory for a while, and it just fucking tore me apart, and I lost my confidence. And so I just decided that rather than being mad at him about it, I was just gonna make it work. And that sucks sometimes because I'm lonely. But I understand that, like, you know, he's the father of my kid. He's an amazing person. I have no doubt in my mind he's always gonna be there. And that's all I can ask for. So all I can do is support him the best I can. And just make it work in any way I can. For kid number one, well, here's the thing. With Hosanna's dad, when it comes to domestic violence, it's a very tricky thing. Because what people don't realize is, like, they'll say, well, violence only occurred to the mom, so it probably won't happen to the baby. But what people don't realize is that people don't take tempers into account. Not to mention his punishment, his court punishment isn't even over for almost killing me. He still doesn't feel bad about it. And he's expressed to his mom, my daughter's grandma, that he's going to tell my daughter when she's 12, that mommy and daddy aren't together anymore because they were both bad people. But I wasn't a bad person. That's not why we're together. And I would never tell her that we're not together because, like, he used to beat my ass. I wouldn't tell her that. It's not important. And I don't want to shape my kid. Like, I don't want her to feel, like, ashamed of herself, because a lot of kids, when they have bad parents, they can put that on themselves. And, like, you know, I don't know if he's a bad parent, so that's not fair to say. But he's just, like, you know, he's a very violent person. So I have forgiven him. I'm not mad at him. He did what he did. I survived. What can I be mad at? I got hella PTSD, but that's okay. I'm still alive. But I can still acknowledge that it's just not safe. So I'm very proud of the decisions that I've made. I'm very secure in myself as a woman. I'm secure in myself as a mother. I'm secure in, like, how I've become a mother. At the beginning of this pregnancy, I got very insecure because it's like, yo, I'm 24 and I'm not married and I'm about to have my second kid. And I almost let society fuck with me, where I was like, yo, nobody's gonna want to date me. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not one of these women that are just, like, having babies to collect child support. I don't collect child support from my first kid's dad. I never would, just because, like, I don't feel like he's safe to be around her. So if you're not safe to be around the kid, why would I collect money from you? Doesn't make any sense. So I just choose not to do that, not putting down women who do, because they're fully entitled to that, especially when there was abuse that occurred. It's just a personal choice for me. I think that these things should be okay being left personal. But the father of my kid, this kid right here, he is so fucking fantastic and, like, just so perfect and, like, so non-abusive and so fucking supportive. Like, yo, I'm paying him child support. Like, him and I aren't we're moving in together for a little bit. He's gonna come live with me when the baby's born, just because he wants to be there to just support and bond and just be there to support the family. But we're not, like, moving in together permanently or anything like that. We're still living separately, and, like, obviously our incomes are very different, and I want him to be comfortable. So, like, I'm gonna pay him child support, and I'm fucking happy to do it, because he's great. He supports me in every other way, and, like, why not support him? Um, so yeah, I was very insecure about it, and I was like, here we go again. And now that I'm like not in a relationship with him, it hit me hard for a while. But at the end of the day, like, I'm a good fucking woman. I've been on birth control. Unfortunately, I have to get my tubes tied after this baby, which is very sad because I'm only 24, but birth control does not work for me. So that'll be fun. But I didn't trick anybody. I didn't abuse anybody. I really have done everything that I can and have been successful at it. So what do I have to be ashamed for? Air high five. If somebody's gonna shit on me or put me down or say that I'm a bad woman or a bad mom because I have 2 kids from 2 different dads, it's like, well, you have to look at my situation, because like when you look into it, I'm still a really good woman. I'm still a really strong mother, and I'm still very proud of myself, and I don't think anybody can take that away from me. Nobody's opinions. None. And it's taken so long. It took a whole ass suicide attempt for me to come to a point where I'm like, I don't care what people think. It was just myself I was judging for a while, but I got over that. Am I religious? I have a very toxic relationship with Jesus. But I have religious symbols all over my body. That's red ink, not self-harm. Everyone thinks it's cuts, but it's not. And my daughter's name is Hosanna, which means like God save us, or like to praise God. So sometimes I look at like where my life started, which was like in Romania in an orphanage, like rotting for 2 years, all the way to now. Like, I'm very successful, and like I did this shit on my own. On my fucking own, 100%. And it's like, how can I look at what's happened in my life, especially in the last 2 years, how much has changed and how much all my trauma and pain and hard work has paid off? Like, how could I not think that God is real? You know what I mean? But I don't really like talking about like politics or religion or things like that, because I think it's really personal, and everything is so highly politicized that I feel like you can't share an opinion without someone being like, you're disrespecting mine, because I respect everyone's opinions, and I don't want it to be like a God doesn't exist, or it does in this chat thing. So I just don't want to talk about it. Someone says, shut up already. Do you realize that you have an option to leave? Do you realize that if you don't like hearing my voice, you can go? You can get out of this video the same way you got into it. Do you realize that? Just leave then. I hope you have a good day, like, honestly. What started the No Dick campaign? Well, it was 2019, and I was seeing all of these quotes about, like, if he doesn't have a car, he's not getting any pussy. If he still lives with his parents, like, he's just broke. And then 2 years later, the song, that says no, broke boys don't deserve no pussy came out. So I guess that predicted the future. But anyways, I didn't do anything, but that was the future. And so I just kept seeing that, and I was like, you know what? I was like, fuck this. Like, men need their own standards for women. And so it started. I was like, yo, she has fucking fruit flies in her bedroom. No dick. If she refuses to work and she's not in school either, no dick. Like, and it just started like that, and it took off. Potentially break restraining orders to get the guy in hot water had this happen to me. That sounds really fucked up. I'm so sorry, and I hope that you were able to prove that you were innocent. Do you believe being monogamous is the best way? I can't put that opinion. It's the best way for me. I'm not everybody else. And one thing I've learned with polyamory is it's really not a phase. Like, your heart can either love more than one person or it can't. And there are a lot of people who have loved more than one person, but society's just told them, like, no, you need to pick one. And so it's like, I respect polyamory. It's just not my thing. It hurt me individually. And that's not anybody else's fault. It's nobody's fault. It just happened. Why stream so much at night? Well, because I'm the loneliness. I'm the loneliest at night. Anyways, guys, I have a new video premiering. Literally right now, I think. Yeah. So if we want to end this live and go to that video, we can chat in the live premiere. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, this live, and hope I was able to answer your guys' questions and, yeah, give you a little bit more insight into who I am. I will link my Patreon in the description below. Yeah, or it's patreon.com/RomaArmy. Anyways, see you in the video that's premiering right now. Bye!